everybody, in this video I thought I would show you one of my new purchases. It's an A3 bright pad, so it's basically just a sketching pad. So it's a board with a light underneath it, and you can lay your drawing down on top of it, your reference image, with your paper, and then you can actually transfer through it. Now, the only reason I purchased this was that it was on special on Amazon, so I thought I would give it a try. Most of you will know that I usually just put some graphite pencil on the back of my either line art or my reference image, and I transfer my image onto my paper that way, or with a pastel pencil depending on what I'm drawing. But I thought I'd give this a go, so I'm going to take it all out of its packaging and we'll give it a try and see how it works. Alright, so I've taken it out of the packaging. It comes, well, the one I bought just comes with some of these real sort of cartoony sort of tracing things and some blank sheets of paper. Yeah, I won't be needing those, but great to give to the kiddies. You've got just the USB charging cable, and a couple of these clips, which I'm assuming is just to hold your image and everything in place, actually on the actual board itself. So we'll give those a try, see how that works. They've given us a pencil for some reason, so that's nice of them. And just a very basic switch it on and draw, basically. So yeah, let's see how it works. Okay, so I've turned the unit on. I've had to turn off my two big filming lights because I had a look at it with those on and you couldn't even see through the paper. A thinner paper, yes, but for any of the pastel papers, so the pastel matte, pastel grain, or the Canson Mouton velvet that I use, then no. I think the darker your room is, the better you'll see. So it might be a little bit tricky to show you this on camera, purely because I don't know how much it's actually going to pick up. So this is just my line art that I would normally do. So I've just laying that over the top of the light, and the box does have, you can dim it down, and I don't think that's going to work any better for me now. So, and then you can actually pump up the light and make it really bright, and I think that's as far as it's going to go. So I've laid that on there. So this is the Canson Mouton, I think it's golden brown, could be golden beige, and I can see that quite well just sitting here. But I'm going to turn just my ceiling light off as well. Now I know that probably doesn't help you guys. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit to that. There we go, that's a bit better. So sitting here, I can see that shining through onto the paper really quite well for actually doing a transfer. I'm going to try the Pastel Matte Dark Grey, which is one of my favorites to use, and it is actually harder. So I think I'd even need, and you can't even see that at all, I'm sure. Let me see if I put that ceiling light back on. Yeah, even then it's really not showing up on camera at all. I would struggle with the Pastel Matte Dark Grey in the light that's in this room. Now if I was in a completely dark room, that might work quite well, but that again could be, you know, more trouble than it's worth just to get, you know, an accurate line art down. I think this will work really well on the lighter papers. So if you were to go maybe the light grey or even a white paper, it might work well. Or you actually darken your room down. But I'm just going to pop that, I'm going to position it where I want to on this paper. I probably want to draw that one round about there. I'll see how far, oh, I'll see how far these clips that they gave us actually go in, which doesn't look like it's far. I may have to move the whole drawing up slightly, just so that I can get it just at the top corner. That's where I want to draw this on my page. I'm just going to attach that to the actual box. And like I said, this wasn't an expensive light box by any means. And I'm sure there's better quality out there. Now I'm going to turn this light off again. I know it's really dark for you guys, but I'm going to grab just a white pencil and just see how easy it is just to come across. It's looking, because I've got all of the lights out as well, it's actually looking quite grey on the paper, the pencil, just making it a little bit distracting. I won't do the whole thing, and then I'll turn all the lights back on and we can actually have a look and see. Yeah, I just don't know, like I said, how good this is for anybody's eyes that maybe do struggle a little bit. I mean, I'm even feeling a little bit of eye strain even now, which is certainly not something you want just at the start of a drawing, that's for sure. I did try this as well with the, just using the actual reference image, but again I found that even harder to see through because, you know, it's a bit of a darker image. It's got quite a dark background, this one that I've chosen to draw. Alright, I'm just going to do this little bit here. Just so we can sort of see that sort of petal there sort of completed, and then I might just do this little section just in here. I mean, look, it's quick as far as being able to see, and it's great in the fact that if you needed to change the color of your pencil mid trace, this would be excellent. So if you've got a piece of your portrait that's really black and you didn't want, you know, white sort of tracing lines on your drawing, you could just swap over to a black pencil and do the sections that you wanted to do in black. So for that sort of thing, I think it would be quite handy. I personally don't think this is something that I would use on a real regular basis. I think you would have to really sort of get your lighting correct with it, and just, yeah, just play around with it a little bit, I suppose. But I mean, when I think that for this drawing, the time it takes me just to put a layer of graphite on the back, or you know, some pastel, and then just flip it over and transfer that to my paper, then yeah, I'm not too sure if this has been one of my better choices. I'll certainly persevere with it and see how it turns out. I mean, you guys can probably, I can just sort of block out that light. Ooh, that works better on the camera. What I might do is I'm actually going to move this. Ooh, I'm a bit nervous about moving it in case I ruin it all. Let me get a bit of my pastel mat, pop it under there, or pop it on the side. There we go. Okay, so blocking out that light source for you guys probably means you can see that a lot better. So I might just continue on with this, because it would be a shame to sort of move it and then find out that I can't maybe line it up again or something like that, because this is actually going to be just a little tutorial for my Whiskers to Wildlife members, just to do something a little bit, we call it to now for something completely different, where we just step away from wildlife and pets just for a second and try our hand at something different. So I haven't got much more of this one to go, so bear with me. But yeah, like I said, I have a feeling that yeah, the lighter papers you'll be able to see better, or you just make sure that when you are doing your tracing, you're doing it in a darker room. So that is me done that outline. So it really didn't take that long at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of the studio lights back on again, and we'll have a quick look at it and just see how it looks actually on the paper. Alright, so lights are back on. I'm just going to move that so that I don't want that glaring light on top of that. So that is the transferred image onto that Canson Mouton velvet paper. And I'm really happy that I've managed to sort of see all of the outlines. I know that on the camera it maybe didn't pick it up that well, but yeah, I mean, like I said, normal line art, putting it onto there, I suppose you could look at it, it's just another tool, it's another option. Like I said, I use the graphite, 90% of the time. I don't like putting pastel on the back of my line arts and then transferring, because I just find that you just transfer far too much of the pastel dust onto your paper. And if you're wanting to keep one of your portraits really crisp and clean, that can be a real pain trying to sort of lift it off with a kneadable eraser. And sometimes, and depending on these softer papers like the velvet and the pastel grain, the kneadable eraser may have a tendency to just show those marks a little bit more. So look, am I sold on it yet? Probably not. Would I tell you to rush out and get one because it's absolutely fantastic? Probably not. But again, if you were to see one on special or get a second-hand one, I mean, you can actually make something very similar to this on your own. And I've seen them on YouTube videos where you just basically get a couple of blocks of wood, put a sheet of acrylic or perspex over the top and shine your phone light up through it. So there is loads of different options. Like I said, I would never have gone out and bought one of these at its full price. But because it was on special, I thought I'll give it a try, and I'll certainly use it more and more, and I'll use it with different papers. And once I've tried it on a few different papers, I'll do another short video and just show the comparison and how I felt it performed with the different brands of paper and also the different colours. But I hope that's just been just a little bit useful for you. Like I said, it's just another little tip, another little tool that you could maybe use. But really, it's probably not worth rushing out and spending the money on, unless it's something that you know you really want to be using all the time.